Hey guys, it's Cora Ross and welcome to Six News. Today we're going over the Pro League sets that will be revealed at the Six Invitationals and will be launching with the next season. And we also have the designer notes for the mid-season balance and patches as well. So let's start with the Pro League sets. So we've got Kaid, Clash, Nomad, and Maverick. So they're the usual Pro League sets, gold, black, and white. And they look pretty cool. I think anyone who normally picks up the Pro League sets will be picking these up as well. But I have a really big question for you guys. What do they do next? Because this is probably a massive revenue stream, is these Pro League sets that are only available for the season time and then they disappear. The next set comes out. But we've actually caught up with the operators now. So the only operators that won't have a Pro League set will be the Australian operators when they get released. And that's it. So for the next season, after the Australian one, they can only do the Australians. So who else do they do? Because I'm guessing they're not going to just do 2 operators. I expect they'll want to continue doing the 4 operators that they usually do. So are they going to double back? Are they going to go back to the start and do the original operators again? Because some of them did only have headgears and no uniforms. So could we see Pro League sets being redone for the older operators? So basically just going back to the start, doing it from the beginning all the way up. And would they eventually just redo every single character again with another Pro League set? And it could, I don't know, it could be that they change the style a little bit, maybe they change the colors a little bit, or maybe they just mix it up in a different way to kind of bring it up to a different level, perhaps. I don't know. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Now I will point one massive thing out here, and that is the Australian flag that is on these Pro League characters. Of course, the Pro League sets have the flag of the season that is currently coming out. And of course, we haven't had an announcement to let us know that it is the Australian season yet. Of course, all that information comes from leaks and Easter eggs in the current map. So this confirms it. Australia is coming for the 6 Invitationals. So moving on now to the designer notes. They have been released today. Now, I thought that these would get released alongside our release date for the new patch, but that's not the case. I don't know what's going on. I thought I would have been out this week, but I guess maybe next week. We're only 3 weeks from the Invitationals, so they need to get it out soon. And of course, this is for Year 3, Season 4.2. That is the patch. Now, these graphs leaked out just earlier today, so I did a video on them. But we'll go over them quickly. Of course, what they want is the operators to be as close to the center as possible. This is where they've got a good pick rate and a good win rate. That's kind of where they want the perfect operator to be. Now, for the attackers, there's only a few kind of outliners these days, which is Ash and Finka. So Finka's winning a lot, but not getting picked much. So the people playing her are probably really good at playing her. They're specialized in her. Does that mean she needs a nerf? I don't know. It might be. Yeah, maybe she will get a nerf in the future. Now Ash isn't winning that many, but she's getting picked a ton, which could be diluting her numbers. It could be that, the 70% of people that are picking her, maybe only 30% are actually really good with her. So she could be up here on win rate with some players, but on others she might be just really crap. So I don't know if this is just a bad average of all these 70 people that are taking her, or if it's something else. I would say as well for the kind of weak operators, we've got Fuse. I feel Fuse does need something, a little tweak just to make him a bit more interesting to play. I think because he used to be really interesting to play, but I think he's kind of lost that unpredictability that he once had, which was actually a good factor of him. So yeah, I think he might need something. And of course, Blitz, amazingly, is down here with Ying and Capital. So like Blitz, I wouldn't go changing Blitz. Like they're not that far from the center, so I don't know. Like they're not too bad, but we'll see how they do. Of course, there probably won't be any more balancing changes until mid-season of next season now. And then for defenders, quite interesting. There's quite a lot of getting away from the center here. So up top, Rook. So not getting picked that much, but again, the players that are picking him are doing well with him. Of course, probably the MP5 that's really kind of the outstanding element here. His gadget, of course, is useful, but I think it's his gun that's doing well. However, Doc with the same gun is getting picked a lot, but doing worse. Again, I think because he's getting picked more, it's kind of diluting the numbers a little bit and showing him a little bit lower, even though it's the same weapon that he's kicking ass with. And then I think Jaeger's probably where the devs kind of want him to be because he's enjoyable to play. He's not winning too much, but he is, only just behind Ash, really, not by much. But Legion and Doc here is interesting. Of course, Doc has been nerfed along with Rook with the MP5. So Legion maybe would get a nerf in the future, but again, I think that's probably going to be middle of next season for a balancing patch. But they could do something at 6 Invitationals, but I think probably not. The other repair's not doing too bad. It's interesting, Cav got a big nerf, or a big buff, depending on what distance you're shooting people at. But to see her not really doing that well, she's not. She is winning. I guess, yeah, she is winning games. So she is kicking ass there, but she's not getting picked that much. So I don't know how good she really is. Yeah, kind of interesting. Now, when it comes to the bottom here, this is interesting. Clash is doing horrible. Of course, we knew she was doing bad before. She then got nerfed, so we knew she was going to do even worse. And now she's minus 10 on the win rate, which is, that is like, Chichanka's up here at minus 3. Minus 3. And she's down at minus 10. Mental. So the fully automatic gun for her hopefully will help her out. Castle needs a little help. He really does. I think Castle, the big problem with him is he could easily get tweaked and be like up here. Winning way too many games. But it's like a balancing act with Castle. Rust and Capcan actually doing really well. They're kind of all over the place usually. So they're actually doing alright for kind of win rate. But their pick rate is low as hell. So I don't know if that's maybe actually a bad thing. But again, usually attackers are more central and defenders are more spread out. If you don't already know, defenders win more games than attackers in pretty much all maps. So it is still interesting to see these balancing patches, but I don't know if it kind of cuts the data down too much, where it gets a little bit too easy to just put your own feeling into these numbers. But you guys let me know what you think down below. Now, when it comes to the changes, like I say, this patch is on the test server. It's not out yet. There's no release date yet. I was kind of expecting this to come with a release date. I thought that's what's going to happen. There's only 3 weeks to Invitational, so it has to be out before then. So I would think next week, but who knows? So, of course, Cav decreased damage from 99 to 65 with the pistol. Of course, that's only for within 1 meter or so. It's like really point blank. But you can still down someone with 2 hits, so you're still fine. The damage fall-off was changed to be more like the pistols. Rogue 9's got a good video on how this is actually balanced out. It's quite interesting to watch because it's not exactly that of normal pistols. Magazine size has been decreased. 12 rounds should be enough, really. If you're getting into an engagement with your pistol, you want to have them down before those 12 rounds are out. So I don't think that's a big issue. Increased recoil, so that will make chaining shots harder, and they've increased the hip fire. Now, they've also given a description of why they are doing this. So they've said, we are trying to make her less frustrating to play against and reduce her power level at low to medium levels. Now, this is interesting. So this is obviously that they're balancing her not for the high end. So if these graphs are Platinum, Diamond, PC ranked. So they're actually mentioning that she's just too powerful for lower ranks. That's interesting. And of course, they say here that you need the same amount of bullets to down someone, even shoot them in the chest. So it's the same number of bullets, even with the damage reduction, which I think is the same as what Rogue 9 found as well. So yeah, I think they're just kind of making it a bit more consistent, really. But yeah, reducing the penalty of being hit by 1 shot. Yeah, so I can understand that. They're getting rid of that kind of really powerful point blank damage, and instead they're just making it more consistent. I think that probably is a good way of describing it. And then it looks like the actual change to the damage is why they can then make the fall off on damage be more normalized with other pistols, so that she can actually be a little bit more interesting at range, even though she has more recoil. So yeah, they've changed the recoil. Rogue 9 as well did more tests on this. The hip fire was actually bigger. The recoil was a bit more erratic. So yeah, it's going to be harder to chain those shots together. And we'll have to see how that plays out when she gets released, whenever that is. Then we've got Kaid here. So Kaid is performing below our expectations. Not surprising. He only has 2 claws. He does have kind of low damage weapons. Of course, the slug shotgun with the ACOG is great. But then if you bring that along, and you've also got the pistol with an ACOG, you don't really have anything for medium range or close range, apart from the AUG, which is not very good. So yeah, they're gonna just see this. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, making his ADS time faster. Like I feel like he does need something else, either make that SMG better or give him his 3rd clawback. That's all I can really think of. Yeah, don't know. I think when we get the mid-season next season, I think he's still going to be doing pretty rubbish. Now, Rook and Doc, so these guys are both doing well. Of course, with Rook actually doing way better when it comes to win rate. So they're reducing the max damage from 30 to 27 with the MP5. And they say Rook has the highest win delta for the defenders, and Doc is trending the same way with a win delta that increases season over season. We want to slightly reduce their power without changing how it feels to play them. Now the thing is, if you're really good with the MP5, you can just get headshots and you don't have to worry about the fact it's doing less damage. I'm very curious to see how this plays out again a season from now, if it really does help to pull them down, or if they're just still increasing their win deltas like they've been saying they have. So Clash now, this is of course a big one. Clash is doing horrible, and of course they nerfed her a while back, so it's not a surprise that she's doing really bad. And yeah, because Clash is still mainly a support operator, even with the full auto SMG, which will definitely help. I feel like she's not good enough support a lot of the times for other operators. But I don't know how it's going to work out. So yeah, the SMG is going to have full auto, which means this 2-round burst is going, which means like why the hell would you even equip the pistol now? Like no point. They changed the recoil to make it more like a full auto weapon, and they increased the total amount of ammunition, so because obviously you'll be shooting a lot. You still don't have much though. The SMG has like 20 round mags. You get 120 rounds. You can burn through that really easily. Of course though, you got the shield, so you might not be shooting that often. And they increased the damage as well from 30 to 33. Yeah, I hope it works out for Clash. I think she's an interesting character. I would like her to be more fun and more useful. So we're not satisfied with the current state of Clash. She has been underperforming, and the latest update did not improve the situation. Hell yeah. So yeah, she's doing horrible, really bad. We believe that she is the operator that needs quality team support the most, which makes her too weak when there is no backup, especially when outnumbered. By changing the fire rate to full auto and increasing the damage, our goal is to help improve her performance when encountering those kinds of situations. At the same time, these changes will come with a new recoil alignment that will bring the SMG behavior closer to the rest of the machine pistols. So my only issue with this is that it's really hard to play Clash with support. Even with a coordinated team, there's still, because the attackers can see through the shield, it's easy to know when the defender's going to pop out and you can just shoot him. That's how most of the time it goes down now, because he's not that much of a threat when her shield's up. So, like if she only had a one-way mirror, like if I couldn't see through it as an attacker, and I didn't know if there was actually a defender right there just waiting to pop out and shoot me, that would make it a lot scarier, I think. Whereas Clash right now, because I can see what's going on behind her, I don't have to worry too much. I know if someone's going to peek or not. So I don't know how this is going to play out at all. I feel like maybe she's becoming too much of a normal character with a full auto, SMG. And we're just going to see a lot more Clashes just running around, maybe tase you a little bit with the shield, pop behind cover, switch to their weapon, pop out and shoot you. Or at least try. I think actually most of the times Clash is just going to die in that situation. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Again, we'll have to wait till mid-season next time to see how the balancing plays out. Now, what we have at the end here is Lion. So, of course, we heard from a pro that Lion's rework is done. and we expect to then see it at the 6 Invitationals, and it seems like we're going to be getting to see the new line at the 6 Invitationals. Now, they only say that they'll have more information, so, does that mean he's actually going to get released? I think he will. He needs to get back into the Pro League, so I think he will be coming out of the 6 Invitationals. That's my guess anyway. So we'll see. They say that the progress is being made. We have tested and validated as design changes that would like to implement, and in the process of tightening up these parameters. So that sounds about right, because the pro said that they were done. They were finished with them, which is probably correct. They probably got the most of the work done, and they're just tweaking a few things here and there. That's how I kind of read it anyway. And they also talk about UI and audio feedback. I think, obviously, this is in the Lion section, so I think it has to do with Lion, but I do wonder what this means. Because obviously there is an audio feedback when Lion uses his ability. There's obviously a HUD thing as well, so I guess it's how people show up on the UI if they're being detected, and also how the audio works if they're getting detected. I don't know. But it might mean that what they've decided to go with is the Lion that can still use his intel. Because there was 2 versions they talked about. One was they were going to take with the intel, it'd be a completely different gadget, or they would do the intel but differently. So I could see them going with a much more Jackal-inspired ping rather than outline. But of course, we'll have to wait and see, and we don't have to wait long. 3 weeks, 6 Invitationals, we'll get to find out what's happening to Lion. Of course, if we pop up and actually look at his win delta right now, he is not doing too bad. He's losing a few more games than he's winning, but actually not bad at all, and pick rate sucks. And I think that's obviously because he got nerfed like crazy for a while, until they went, oh, you know what, we're just going to rework him and ban him from Pro League. So I do think it'll be interesting to see what the new Lion is like and how good he is, and what they're going to do next, because I think they should do a little thing with Ash. I think maybe a little with Finca, maybe a little with Twitch. They're going to do a little bit of work with Legion. And that's about it, actually. The rest are doing pretty good. Of course, we'd like to see a rework of Castle and stuff, but I think the graphs are looking better. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.